The Las Vegas Raiders walked into rookie minicamp, looking nothing like the team holding the worst record in football last season. New head coach, new quarterback, new tempo, new attitude. Clint Kubiak ran practice like a man who already owned the building. Fernando Mendoza took snaps under center, wearing number 15 for the first time. The Heisman winner, now the face of the silver and black. The number 1 overall pick. The man who tanked the franchise turned cornerstone. One rookie sitting on the sideline, taking mental reps, is already in line for a starting caliber role, and his name keeps getting buried under medical reports nobody finished reading. Stay with this one. The reveal hits later. Watch what John Spytek built. The Raiders signed 17 undrafted free agents and waived 4 veterans during minicamp itself, including a defensive end who started 18 games over the past 2 seasons. The reshuffle hit edge rusher first, but it changed safety, cornerback, and running back at the same time. Tre'Dan Stukes is reuniting with his best friend from Arizona, Dalton Johnson, in the same secondary. Trey Zoom, the third, brings 5 years of Texas A&M experience to the offensive line. Mike Washington Jr. ran a 4.33 at the Combine to give Ashton Jeanty a true running mate. And one undrafted free agent solves a specific problem Kubiak asked Spytek to fix. The kind of fix nobody on YouTube has named yet? The defense sounds different too. Loud communication, aggressive special teams under Joe DeCamillis, Rob Leonard running his first defense as coordinator, and the secondary he inherited has more versatility than anyone reading the depth chart noticed. Hezekiah Masses plays with a physicality the Raiders corners have lacked for years. Germod McCoy is on the field already, fielding punts off to the side, signaling the medical plan is working. The AFC West does not look the same with this roster on the other sideline. Patrick Mahomes faces new coverage. Justin Herbert faces new pressure. Bo Nix faces a quarterback room nobody in Denver wanted to share oxygen with. By the end of this breakdown, the win total prediction will sound aggressive. It is not. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Raiders and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 1,000 likes on this video. Fernando Mendoza sat at the podium after practice on Saturday and said he sits at the bottom of the totem pole, the number 1 overall pick, the Heisman winner, the man who carried Indiana to a national title in January. He stood there talking about earning his shield, the Raiders policy, where rookies have to put in the work before they get the silver shield on the side of the helmet. Then a reporter asked about the Indiana team trip to the White House on May 11th. Most rookies would protect their place at the celebration. Mendoza did the opposite. He told the room he has practice on May 11th, and a rookie quarterback does not miss practice for any reason. Then the work behind the scenes came out. Mendoza spent his nights at the team hotel, running snap drills with the center room. 25 to 50 snaps a session, after full practices, voluntarily. He told reporters the offensive line did a great job. The centers were phenomenal, and the offense had a long way to go, even though every quarterback was working hard. Read between those lines. He is studying tempo. He is studying timing. He is doing the thankless work no one would notice if he skipped it. Clint Kubiak runs an under-center heavy offense, and Mendoza did not log enough under-center reps in college. He is correcting the gap on his own clock before any veteran shows up. Competitors missed this part of the story. Tom Brady has a stake in the franchise and a relationship with the rookie quarterback room. Mendoza has said openly he expects Brady to pour into him. The leadership style coming out of him already echoes the 7-time champion. Short answers. Team first language. Total ownership of his role at the bottom of the depth chart, even though he is the most valuable asset on the roster. Veterans take note when a number 1 overall pick acts like a 6th round pick. The locker room takes note. Clint Kubiak takes note. John Spytek takes note. The whole building takes note. Then the loudest room in Henderson on Saturday answered with a noise nobody expected from a rookie defense. The defense did not run plays in silence. Reporters on the sideline noted the volume right away. An emphasis from the coaching staff to communicate every coverage, every adjustment, every break of the huddle. Rob Leonard is running his first defense as coordinator after years coaching the Raiders' defensive line under previous regimes. He earned the promotion the hard way. He knows the building. He knows Max Crosby. He knows Malcolm Koonce. He knows Kwity Paye from the free agency film study. And he is teaching a young secondary how to talk to each other before the snap, not after. Volume sounds simple from the outside. Veterans know it is the difference between giving up a deep ball and breaking up a deep ball. Hezekiah Masses is the name nobody told you to write down yet. The 5th-round pick out of California played 3 seasons at Florida International before transferring for his senior year, and he plays with the kind of physicality the Raiders' corners have lacked for years. He locks up early. He finishes late. He looked the part on Saturday, despite no pads and no contact, the kind of body language telling coaches a player believes in his own hands. The Raiders had the option to draft a luxury edge rusher in the 3rd round. They drafted Kieron Crawford anyway. Then the next morning, they took Masses in the 5th, signaling depth and quality at corner is now the priority. Joe DeCamillis runs special teams the way a drill sergeant runs a basic training course. Loud, aggressive, repetition heavy. Kirk Morrison said after his hire, the special teams coordinator would be one of his favorite voices to follow this season, and minicamp confirmed why. Field goal periods looked like the most coached part of the practice. Punt coverage looked tighter than anything the Raiders have shown in seasons. DeCamillis is the kind of veteran addition who lifts a special teams unit on day one. One rookie standing on the sideline took mental reps the entire session and did not run a single team period. Find out why his absence is the loudest news of the weekend. The release of Charles Snowden during minicamp blindsided most of the fan base. The veteran edge rusher started 18 games for the Raiders over the past 2 seasons. He recorded 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, an interception, and 2 pass breakups in 15 games during the 2025 campaign. He played a role. He was reliable. He was cheap. And the Raiders waived him on Saturday alongside 3 other roster pieces, opening a door nobody saw coming. John Spytek does not make moves out of frustration. He makes them when he sees a path forward. The path forward sat on the sideline the same afternoon, watching individual drills and taking mental reps after a hard Friday session. Kieron Crawford is the answer. The 3rd-round pick out of Auburn took the day off Saturday on instructions from the coaching staff, and the volume of his Friday workload told the staff everything they needed to know. 11.5 sacks across 47 college games, 25 tackles for loss, 3rd team, all SEC honors as a senior. He started his football career in his senior year of high school. He played basketball through his junior year. The athletic profile is rare. The motor is rarer. The Auburn Buck linebacker role he played gives him versatility every defensive coordinator wants on the edge of the line. Now he gets a clear runway opposite Max Crosby with Malcolm Koonce and Kwity Paye rotating inside. The math works. Max Crosby anchors one side. Kwity Paye plays an interior pass rush role on 3rd downs. Malcolm Koonce rotates as a wide 9 specialist. Crawford gets snaps from day one as the primary backup with starter upside, the same role his college film projects took perfectly. The Raiders also have Tyree Wilson off the roster after a trade to the New Orleans Saints, opening even more room. Charles Snowden lands somewhere else and likely earns a real role with another team. He is a quality NFL player. The Raiders are betting on a higher ceiling. With the edge room locked in, the secondary architecture Spytek spent 2 days of the draft engineering finally comes into focus, and the design is sharper than reporters realized. John Spytek drafted 4 defensive backs in 7 rounds. He traded Tyree Wilson to the New Orleans Saints to acquire the 5th-round pick used on Dalton Johnson. He traded up in the 4th round to take Germod McCoy at 101, despite the medical concerns. He spent his 2nd-round selection on Traden Stukes at 38. He used the 5th round on Hezekiah Masses. 4 picks, 1 position group. The architecture was on purpose, not a coincidence. Eric Stokes is the veteran starter outside on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Taron Johnson plays nickel after his trade from the Buffalo Bills. Darian Porter holds down the other outside spot. Layer the rookies in and the depth gets real. Tre'Davious Stukes is the wild card. He played 52 games over 6 years at Arizona and recorded 7 interceptions, 35 pass breakups, 12 tackles for loss, and a sack. He lines up at free safety, strong safety, or nickel. Dalton Johnson played alongside him at Arizona and ran a 4.41 at the Combine. Best friends, same defensive system, already communicating like a trio living in the same playbook for years, which they did. Jeremy Chin brings the veteran leadership at strong safety. Isaiah Pola-Mao offers experience as a free safety swing. The Raiders now have 5 players ready to start at safety in the right matchup, the kind of luxury roster construction SpyTech built deliberately. Germod McCoy is the resolution to the curiosity loop. The 4th round pick from Tennessee was a top 10 talent before his ACL tear cost him the entire 2025 season. He ran a 4.38 at his pro day. He fielded punts at minicamp on Saturday, despite the limited workload designation. SpyTech told Kay Adams the Raiders are confident in their plan with him. ESPN reported 5 of 8 teams polled had him off their boards entirely. The Raiders did not flinch. If McCoy plays at all in 2026, he steps into a CB1 role next to Eric Stokes, and the secondary becomes top 10 in the league. The man inheriting a starting caliber path is McCoy himself, and the building is built around him already. The AFC West does not look the same with this Raiders roster on the other sideline. Kansas City still leans on Patrick Mahomes and an aging receiver core, and the new Raiders secondary has more bodies than at any point in the past 5 seasons. Mahomes throws short and intermediate at a higher rate than the league average. The new nickel coverage from Taron Johnson, plus the safety versatility of Tre'Davious Stukes and Dalton Johnson, crowds those windows. Zone matches over middle, bracket coverage on slot routes. The Chiefs' offense still wins games. The margin shrinks when the opposing secondary has answers, and the Raiders did not have answers in any of the 4 meetings between these teams over the past 2 seasons. Los Angeles brings Justin Herbert and a deep receiver room into this division every year. The Chargers have leaned on contested catches at the boundary because they trust Herbert to put the ball in tight windows. Hezekiah Masses at outside corner answers the contested catch problem with size and physicality. Eric Stokes locks down the other side. The pass rush adds a new wrinkle the Chargers have not solved. Max Crosby stays elite. Kwity Paye brings a different rush angle from his Indianapolis years. Kieran Crawford rotates in for situational pressure. Herbert is the best technician in the AFC West. The Raiders front does not have to win every snap. The Raiders front has to win the ones where the protection breaks down. Denver has Bo Nix entering year 3 of a system finally clicking late last season. The Broncos beat the Raiders twice in 2025 against a quarterback room nobody respected. Both problems have a different name now. Fernando Mendoza sits at quarterback. The middle of the field has Jeremy Chin, Hezekiah Masses, and rookies coached by a defensive coordinator who lived in this division before. Rob Leonard has spent years studying this offense from across the line. The Broncos do not have a tight end who threatens single high coverage. They do not have a back who threatens linebackers in the passing game. They have a quarterback. The Raiders now have one too. The biggest gap left to address sits in the running back room. Clint Kubiak told the media his offense will lean on multiple personnel groupings, with heavy doses of 21 personnel, 22 personnel, and 13 personnel. Translation: 2 backs on the field, a fullback in the mix, a heavy run game, a play-action shot game off the run game. Ashton Genty is the lead back. Mike Washington Jr. is the lightning to the thunder, the 4.33 speed at 6'2" and 228 pounds. The room still had a hole: pass protection, third down trust, the kind of role nobody discusses on draft day. Spytech filled it with a UDFA the league overlooked, and the fix is the entire reason the run game opens up. Roman Hemby signed with the Silver and Black after the draft. The Indiana running back transferred from Maryland for his senior season, where he served as the bell cow with 230 carries for 1,120 yards and 7 touchdowns. Across his college career, he appeared in 58 games, recording 711 carries for 3,467 yards, 29 rushing touchdowns, 129 catches, and 1,086 receiving yards. He was an honorable mention All Big Ten 3 times. Dan Brugler ranked him the 16th running back in the 2026 class. 5 years of starting experience. A quarterback in Mendoza he already played with. And the one trait nobody else in the room has: pass protection is the trait. Hemby brings legitimate pass protection ability to the room, the trait Clint Kubiak's offense demands at running back. He openly identified pass protection as a part of his identity in his combine media session. Mike Washington Jr. is still developing in pass protection. Dylan Laub offers receiving but limited blocking. Chris Collier is depth. Hemby is the bridge. He has a built-in connection to right tackle Delmar Glaze, his Maryland teammate who already plays for the Raiders. He has the rapport with Mendoza from Indiana. He fits the offense Kubiak wants to run on third and short, third and long, and any down the protection breaks down. The 53rd man on this roster has a name. The job he answers is the most important hidden role on the team. The Raiders go 9-8 in 2026. Write it down. The schedule is hard. The division is loaded. The rookie quarterback room is not built for 16 game starter mode in year 1. The defense is not finished. The receiver room is the worst in the AFC West. None of those facts kill the projection. Clint Kubiak has called offensive plays for 5 different teams in 5 years and averaged 23.82 points per game across this span. His offense in Seattle won Super Bowl 60. The defense will be top 15 by mid-season once the secondary settles. The kicker battle between Matt Gay and undrafted Kansei Matsuzawa lifts a unit losing games last year by single digits. The AFC West does not look the same. Patrick Mahomes still owns the division floor. Justin Herbert still owns the boundary game. Bo Nix still hits second-year ceilings. None of those quarterbacks face the secondary the Raiders engineered, the front the Raiders upgraded, or the play caller the Raiders hired. Year 1 ends 9-8. Year 2 ends 13-4. The Super Bowl window opens by the end of the 2027 season, sooner than most outlets project, with Mendoza entering year 2 on a rookie contract and the cap room Spytech preserved still intact. The arrow points up faster than the rebuild label suggests, and the rebuild label dies the day Mendoza wins his first divisional game on the road. Drop your win total prediction in the comments and subscribe before the next breakdown drops. The UDFA tracker hits the channel this week with every signing ranked 1 through 17. Including the kicker battle between Matsuzawa and Matt Gay, the Raiders did not advertise, but absolutely planned. Hemby has a real shot at the 53. E.J. Williams Jr. has a real shot at the 53. Justin Pickett has a real shot at the 53. The roster is deeper than this fan base remembers, and the season is closer than the doubters claim. The Silver and Black is not rebuilding. The Silver and Black is reloading. The first game proves it. Be there for every breakdown between now and week 1.